Don't tell anyone. But the Habs win 2-1 in Nashville in a back-to-back. Shh. I'm pretty sure we got away with that one because, oh my god, that game. Woo! We win. And what a greedy win. And what a performance by Dobish, who comes in net to replace Montembeau after he had played the game yesterday, or the day before, sorry. That was Saturday. Dobish stood up on his head, had like 36 saves or 35 saves. Maybe 36 is the one goal. And even though he looked shaky at the start, he set up really well after and had some amazing saves. He always looked a little bit in desperation mode, but he got all the saves he needed and got us this game. So, oh my god, yeah. Dobish, thank you. As fans, we appreciate these 2 points you have given us. And yeah, what a gritty win. Because all the odds were stacked against us, back to back with travel. They got it in Nashville at like 3 a.m. or something, so I'm pretty sure like their whole schedule was screwed up. They usually do fairly what's it called, strict schedule, in the sense of like they practice, they sleep, they nap, they eat, so they have this whole rhythm to their days, and like if you throw that out of the window, I'm sure it affects their game. So coming into the game, it was announced that both Savard and Heinemann were out with a considered day-to-day. So instead of Heinemann in the second line, we have Kapanen in the second line, and instead of Savard in the third pairing, we have Xhekaj in the third pairing, which I don't mind, actually. I didn't mind how Xhekaj played. I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't watch the game with my full attention. I had to be doing something else at the same time, so I had it like on a second screen. So I did watch part of it, and I was able to focus at points, but I couldn't give it my 100%. So this analysis or these comments are going to be fairly on the surface. But I've been liking what I've seen from Kapanen. Honestly, he has been fast. He's skating hard. It's like when I see him, also because his number is similar, I see Heinemann. Like, it took me a bit to realize that it was Kapanen on the second line and not Heinemann, because they play a fairly similar style, and I think Kapanen is maybe has a little higher IQ, hockey IQ than Heinemann does, but Heinemann is a little bit more physical than Kapanen. So honestly, I think both guys are going to be part of the future. It's nice to see him play like that. It's nice that he gets some more games in here, because I thought maybe he wouldn't be able to get some games, because tight-knit group. They've been pushing hard for the playoffs for a while altogether. Maybe you don't want to bring someone that hasn't been part of it this whole time, right? So it's nice that he can get some games, and nice that like he just seems to blend in. I saw the video, the Montreal Canadiens Instagram posts videos of the wins usually, and like the behind the scenes, so like celebration on the ice, and then like dressing room, and they have this this thing they do after they win, where they have the green sunglasses and they pass them to whoever they thought was an important player, or like who deserves them. Usually is whoever they think was the best player, but last game, that was the first game of Kapanen in a while. I think it was I don't know who it was that passed them to Kapanen, because it was his first game. So Kapanen was the one that was holding the sunglasses. So it was his turn to pass them to somebody else after the win in Nashville. And he passes them to Anderson, because Anderson just became a Fowler, and he traveled by himself, by the way. He didn't even travel with the team to Nashville on Saturday night. He traveled by himself on Sunday and just arrived before the game and played. So like, wow, nice to see that commitment. He just became a father. Like in the place I work at, when guys become a dad, they usually take a month off to, you know, like help with everything and be there and be there for the baby and all that. And like I'm sure Anderson could have taken this game off too, but he decided to go. So you admire that. You admire the dedication. So good to see, and I think he had a pretty good game. So our third line went back to what they've always been with Dvorak, Gallagher, and Anderson, and then our fourth line we had Armia, Evans, and Peseta. I think long term, or like once everyone is healthy, you maybe keep Kapanen on the second line, or I don't even know, honestly. I don't know how to shuffle that. Because the third line you keep together, the veteran line, it's been really good, and he played a good game also yesterday in Nashville. Although not as impactful as before, because probably the veteran line is more tired than the younger lines, you know. So the first line should have carried more of the weight because they have more energy, or you could argue that, you know. But I don't know what to do with the second line of Newhook and Laine plus one, who's the one right now, and with the fourth line of who, because Armia is still injured, and Armia is still playing like a shell of himself, so I don't know what's gonna happen there. Evans is good, but you can push him up the line. Like he played with the third line and he had a good game with Gallagher against Philadelphia. Or you can push Heineman up or Kapanen up. So, you know, like I don't know who you put in the fourth line. I don't think the fourth line has Peseta in the long term. Long term for this season, I'm thinking the remainder games or playoffs. So anyways, to the game. Once again, we come out at the first period fairly slow. And once again, Matheson has a horrible turnover that ends up in our net. Matheson, and I'm going to say it right away, had a great game overall. He had a great game. Like, forget about the first period. Matheson was crucial for us keeping the lead in the third and all that. I think he played like over 30 minutes, and he was out there for over 3 minutes in the end, defending with everything he had. In one of the power plays that Stamkos throws a one-timer and Dovich stops but leaves a rebound, Matheson is there and like he just bats the second shot away that probably would have gone in. So Matheson got us the game in the end, which is great, and that's what you want from him, right? But I'm a little tired of the turnovers in your zone that leads to goals, you know? And I'm sure he's tired too of that. I'm sure you guys are tired too of that. So, like, he's a great player, don't get me wrong. He is crucial for the Habs. I don't think there's another left-handed defenseman yet that has, maybe Gouli, you could argue, but that is that important and that plays that many minutes defensively against like the toughest opposition. We rely on Matheson for all that, and he does a great job. Then he does things like that, like going behind our net and pretending to be Hudson and try to go the 200 feet, and he turns it over because he's not as slick as Hudson, and he's not careful enough. I don't know. Sometimes he tries this hero plays where he wants to be the hero, tries to do too much, or makes it like he tried to go between two Nashville Predator players, Stamkos and Forsberg, like some of their better players. He dodges the first one, but he didn't see the active stick of the second one. He gets the puck taken out, and then Stamkos scores. So there was an easier play. Like, he tried to do the hard play, which, if it had worked, he leaves to Nashville in the dust, and you have an Ottman rush the other way, right? So if it works, it's great. But it's a high risk, high reward. I mean, high risk, medium reward play. High risk, low reward, you could even argue. And and he goes through it wrong because, high risk. So you don't want him to take too many of those, especially with a tied game and like playing slow. But maybe, I don't know, you could say maybe he wanted to create a spark with something, wake the team up because they were slow. And kudos to Peseta, by the way, because he does drop the gloves, and I'm pretty sure that injected some energy into our lineup because they were slow, and understandably so. They had just traveled like 3 hours, I think it is, after playing that game against Philly. So good for Peseta. He understands his role, and delivers and injects energy into the lineup, right? Sets the tone. I mentioned Forsberg, and I quickly wanted to be annoyed at the hit he had on Hudson. It wasn't in the highlights, so it wasn't in a replay or anything, but Hudson gets rid of the puck, and 2 seconds after. So he gets rid of the puck, starts looking up, and then 2 seconds after, Forsberg comes and hits him on the head. Could have been nasty. Dirty for sure. Absolutely dirty. I don't think anything's going to happen from there, but like, Hudson could have been injured from that or concussed. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully, like, Heineman, I'm pretty sure is day to day because he got concussed for that borderline boarding that he had against Philly, and he played the rest of the game, but he didn't play the next game. Hudson could still not play the next game because of that hit. I'm sure he will, because dude just is addicted to hockey, and will not want to miss a game, But like, these things are going to start happening. Like, teams are... I was watching the Vancouver Canucks playoffs last season, and Quinn Hughes was constantly targeted with dirty hits during the playoffs, because they know he's a really important part of the Vancouver lineup. Like, without Hughes, Vancouver is so much worse. Like, when Quinn Hughes is on the ice, Vancouver is just so much better. And with Hughes out of the lineup, they're so much worse, and it's something that has impacted them this season. So the other teams, knowing that, they target Hughes. They make him hurt. They don't go for the injury. Like, there are only a few players that are trying to injure the other player, but a lot of the players go for the hit that will hurt, that will make them think twice about going up, that make them think twice, or flinch whenever they have the puck, try to like force them to get rid of the puck faster, And Hudson's gonna have to start dealing with that, because he's gonna start getting targeted. The other teams are gonna have him on notice, and they're gonna know that this dude is really important for us, and he generates a lot of scoring chances, and that it's a superstar. So like, they're gonna target him. McDavid gets targeted all the time too. They're gonna start targeting Hudson, and it was a little sad that nobody jumped on Forsberg after that dirty hit, but it's also understandable because the Habs were trying to go for the win, not for a statement, on guys getting hit. So sucks a little bit because he gets away with it. He gets away with a dirty hit. But yeah, I didn't like that. I'm hoping Hudson is okay, because we need him. What else? Oh yeah, the overturned goal. So Nashville scores, and we challenge for goaltender interference. And honestly, goaltender interference currently is such a coin toss. I didn't know which way it was gonna go. I'm happy it went the way it did, obviously. So we don't go down by 2. But yeah, it could have gone either way. It's one of those things that you just don't fully understand how it works. And Martins decides to take his chance, which was probably the smart decision. Like, if they go up by 2, you're probably not coming back, because you've seen how the team has been playing. They've been slow, they've been tired, they're sleepy, Like, he needed that one to come back, and thankfully it did. So in the end, that contributes for us getting these massive 2 points to put us ahead by 6 on the Rangers. Columbus lost again, so they fall further behind, and we have now 80% chance of making the playoffs. Massive game against Detroit on Tuesday, because it's a 4-point game. If they win, they get 2 points and they get closer. If we win, we get 2 points and we get further ahead from them. That's 4 points. Yeah. So massive 2 points, and massive gutsy greedy win. Shout out to Laine on that 5v5 goal. I was like, Hudson to Laine, and he snipes it. Nice power play goal. Wait, what do you mean we were not in the power play? That's our power play setup. And now that I say that out loud, I said something similar on the game against Philly, because something similar happened where they're starting to do this play. Now that I realize, they're starting to do this play where Hudson enters the zone and Laine is just a little bit like lagging behind, and Hudson sends this saucer pass to Laine because he usually has some space over there. Because it's been 2 games in a row that a similar play happens. The first one, Laine didn't put it in, but now he did. Cool. I hadn't realized. I hadn't made the connection. But yeah, watch the highlights against Philly. There's a very similar play, and then now he gets it in. Also, shout out to all the defense core, Gooley, Carrier, Matheson, that were out there the last 5 minutes of the game, or the last. Killing the penalties was massive. Without Savard, that is a very important part of the PK team. You know, they come clutch. They show they can do it. They show they won the playoffs. And yeah, they just grinded that and put their bodies out there. Blocked so many shots, swatted so many pucks out. Yeah, that's what you want from the guys when your team is not playing great. You want them to play with heart. And hey, good teams usually find ways to win games like this, like the one yesterday. Good teams find a way, right? And it's nice that the Habs found a way to beat Nashville with all the odds stacked against them. So. A nice goal by Caulfield. He surpasses his point maximum, the highest points during the season. I think he now has 66 with 36 goals. So he's getting closer to 40. Only 5 games left, and each game is really important. Hopefully Caulfield gets hot. Hopefully Caulfield gets hot. There you go. I said it wrong first. During this last stretch and gets to 40, because that would be amazing. And hopefully Laine keeps on producing 5v5, because you can see he's trying to get better. He's trying to get back to form, and it takes a while. You know, he didn't play for so long, and then he had the weird injury to his knee, which I'm sure he hasn't fully recovered from. So yeah, I'm just salivating at the thought of what that line could do with a true second line center plus Demidov in there. Anyways, don't have to hold for next season. For now, we keep on thinking of the next game ahead, which is now the most important game of the season, and so on and so forth. And yeah, so we play Detroit Tuesday, massive game, and I'll see you after that one. Don't forget to leave all your feedback here, the good, the bad, anything, and I'll see you after the game on Tuesday. Go Habs go. And what a performance by Dobish, who comes in net to replace Montembeau after he had played the game yesterday, or the day before, sorry. That was Saturday. Dobish stood up on his head, had like 36 saves or 35 saves. Maybe 36 is the one goal. And even though he looked shaky at the start, he set up really well after and had some amazing saves. He always looked a little bit in desperation mode, but he got all the saves he needed and got us this game. So, oh my god, yeah. Dobish, thank you. As fans, we appreciate these 2 points you have given us. And yeah, what a gritty win. All the odds against us.